Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today we're going to be going over the 20 best brawlers to be picking for the brand new ranked season. Just a disclaimer, this is not in order, so if you see somewhere a brawler shouldn't be or something very stupid, it's just not in order. I'm just listing 20 brawlers because you can pick them on any map, any mode most of the time here, so that's why I'm not ranking them because they're all different on each mode and stuff. But yeah, anyways, let's get straight into it. So the first brawler on our list, guys, is going to be Byron. Byron is always a solid brawler since it got buffed, I think a couple balance changes ago. It's just really good at combining with things. For example, Primo is like a really good example on what it can combine with here. You know, if like Primo walks up, you can try and heal him. It just has a great range as well. I think range is a big strong point of Byron because yeah, all the brawlers getting released nowadays, they don't have much range here. Even though Byron doesn't deal the best of damage, it's not the worst, not the best here. The range still makes up for it and just counters a lot of the new brawlers coming out. I think that's one of the big things as well. So yeah, you got this gadget. Okay, we got absolutely wrecked it. But you go the gadget with the 3 shots, you're going to be safe against most matches most of the time. Even for example, a Buzz or a Melody you can even kill. But yeah, I think the survivability that Byron can provide is really good. Just don't pick it into tanks. If you pick it into tanks, Byron's going to get, you know, a very rough time here. But if you pick it with a tank, against a tank, it could be a lot better here. But yeah, just don't pick Byron as like a solo unless you're playing like Shooting Star or something. But on to brawl number 19. Number 19 is going to be RT. I think RT has skyrocketed in the rankings mainly due to his rework of his gadget, where he's just able to just switch forms at any time. You know, it's a good counter for long range brawlers. It's a good counter against throwers, tanks. It's just so versatile now, and I think a brawler that's versatile is always going to be very high up in the meta here. For example, RT I think could easily be a top 10 brawler if I was, you know, putting it in order here. Because yeah, it's used everywhere, pretty much everywhere. Knockout, bounty. You can play it as a mid. You can even play as a lane. You know, if you're gonna switch forms, go into the form like this. You can to heal. I think it's just great versatility, and yeah, it's pretty hard to play though. I do think the shots are some of the hardest to hit, so that's why, you know, I don't see many people being able to play it really well here. So maybe you might avoid it, but if you have really good aim here, I do recommend picking RT. The next brawler is going to be Sandy. Sandy has received some recent nerfs here, which have quite, you know, a big impact here. I feel like you get the hypercharge a lot less now. I think you need like 2.5 supers with Sandy, which can be tough to get if you don't play against a good matchup here. But yeah, Sandy did, you know, you can definitely feel the balance change putting a big effect on it. So yeah, Sandy's not going to be as good as it used to be, but I still think it's a solid option. Definitely within the top 20 here. And it's just so versatile. Again, you can use it to counter tanks. You know, it's not the best for countering tanks, but if you pair it well with something, make use of the stun. I think learning how to use the stun with Sandy is very important here. You know, being able to cancel attacks, some interactions as well. For example, if I just stun him, pull goes in, he's going to be able to get some free hits as well. He's going to go in once again. We're going to just clean up here as well. And there we go. We get a free goal here, but no one's bringing the ball, which is not great. But yeah, so Sandy is good. The build stays the same. You always want to go the damage star power. There's never really an opportunity where you want to go heal. And then yeah, the hypercharge is a must. If you don't have hypercharge, I don't think there's a point of playing Sandy, because yeah, the hypercharge is what makes it really strong. Just get the goal, and yeah, so make sure you have the hypercharge for Sandy. Next brawler is going to be Apit. Now this may surprise some of you, but Apit has always been a really solid pick in the meta for the longest I can remember, maybe like over a year. But yeah, 8-bit is really good. The reason why he's good is if you go his burst star power, which gives him a larger radius with his turret and gives him an extra damage boost for anyone in there. It gives like a 50% damage boost, which is I think ridiculous, and it's so broken on some combos here. For example, I think this comp is a really good opportunity for us to use it here. So yeah, let's just get our super really quick, and then hopefully I can show you how crazy it is. Okay, so we have our super here. Let's just place it down in a bit. We don't want it to lose out on value here, so let's try and defend it. But there you go. Teammates are now going to be using it here. It's really good for the Brock. He gets on safe. I do need to place it a little bit higher though. But yeah, if you combine it with the right things, especially in this meta, it's very high HP. Let's just pop that. There you go. It's going to do more damage there. We're just going to get, I don't know how much. We just did 50% damage, guys, in one push. That is just ridiculous there. And yeah, especially in this meta right now where there's a lot of tanks, you just want to go probably 8-bit, Colette, Gail, some high DPS brawlers. 8-bit is one of them, and it's just super solid at that. Next up is going to be Serge. Serge has always been really good in the meta. As of recently, he had a glitch where he hasn't been usable because he didn't get his level kept after getting super. But you know, that's been fixed. I think a lot of people have forgotten about Serge, and Serge is definitely still really good here. They've changed nothing about him. There's just a small glitch. But yeah, Serge is good. It's good against tanks, which, you know, there's more of now, even beforehand. And it's still very weak against throwers. That's probably the main counters to the Serge is just throwers, especially on this map. This map is not a really good map for Serge here. Because, yeah, throwers, you got Rico. How did that go through me? Yeah, bros like Rico, throwers and stuff. It can be really annoying and very hard to play here. But yeah, if you're playing against tanks, it's really good. If you're playing against Shelly, for example, that's also a really good counter. Bros like Crow as well, it's not too bad against just anything but a thrower. Is going to be the main matchup here. Next up, we have Chester. This may surprise a lot of people, but Chester actually got a really good buff. He's crept up in the meta. Make sure you go first star power with him, because your first shot is going to be like that. It's going to be gold, and it's going to deal a really good amount of damage here. So yeah, you don't always need to have 3 or 2 shots to actually deal good damage now. The first shot does its thing. And again, it's like an assassin. You just sneak up, boom, easy kill. You want to reshuffle your super like this, perfect. And yeah, it's just super strong now. It's a very good lane. I think it's a very good alternative to like a Shelly. I think Shelly has fallen off a little bit, and Chester has crept up. Again, Chester has really good utility. If you don't like the super you get, just swap it, and we get a nice super there as well. Fortunately, I cannot aim to save my life there. But yeah, Chester, again, good at countering tanks. Really good against mid-range as well. It's going to struggle against long range, for example, Angelo, Byron, those type of brawlers as well. Not too bad against Rico, because if you get this super, you can kill him and break up the map as well. Again, the super is a bit of a gamble, so that's why Chester may struggle sometimes, but it's still a very strong option. Nita is going to be next here. Nita, again, a good tank counter, and it's also really good at DPS. If you go Hyper Bear, which, you know, you can use outside of heist. If you're against a really good matchup and the bear creeps up, the hyper bear value you get is going to be really good here. But again, obviously Nita on heist is probably one of the best brawlers, and always will be, because yeah, the hyper bear star power is very strong. And if you go stun with it as well, it deals with all the tanks. And look at this DPS we're getting already with it. And obviously, if you have the hyper charge, it's going to be very tough for enemies to stop the bear. And yeah, the bear is going to probably just end the safe by himself there. Yeah, just so much damage, guys. Nita, a really good DPS brawler, a really good defensive brawler here, and that's why it's just always been very meta and very strong. I know you guys have probably been wondering about this brawler, but Berry is going to be in the top 20. I think Berry is probably within the top 10 or 5. I haven't really tried him out too much. I played with him a decent amount, but in like high level and scrims and stuff, it hasn't been tested out yet. But in terms of, you know, Berry being a thrower, throwers are always very strong here. I think Berry is a lot better than all the throwers. It supplies more support, the healing mechanics as well, and I think the super dealing 3k damage per dash is really good here. So I think Berry might actually be a top 5 brawler once everyone starts getting used to it and trying out in higher level competition here. Again, support is good. Healer's always very nice. Poco does struggle quite a lot as a healer, but I think Berry, you know, being a thrower and a healer at the same time is really good here. Let's see if we can get, okay, we're getting to Berry as well, which is good. But yeah, let's just go in. Again, dealing 3k damage, having heal, it's just, again, so versatile. Brawlers that have so many different attributes and skill sets, you can do so much with them, and it just makes them very strong. After many nerfs, Melody has somehow still, you know, withstand her position in the top 5 and top 10. It's super good, and it also is going to be the rank skin for the season, which I did get at the start of the video. Just I don't have it on camera here, but yeah, new Melody skin, and it's perfect because the brawler is super meta here. We get the kill there, nice, and yeah, again, really good in heist. Good DPS if you know how to go anti-clockwise on the save here. It's really good against throwers and low HP brawlers. Like, all these matchups are really good for Melody here. Okay, we nearly got a double kill there. Very unfortunate in that position there, but yeah, again, especially on this map, for example, you're normally going to see loads of long range brawlers here, but with Melody, the dashes really cover up the space, and it just covers everything you need. And yeah, as you see right now, plays like this is what makes Melody super strong. Just being able to create the space, finish off kills, and just do everything a tank and assassin normally does. Jean is up next. Jean, always a very solid brawler in the meta. I don't know the last time Jean was out of the meta, especially with the introduction of the hypercharge. I feel like Jean is always going to be very viable. It's good at just, keeping brawlers at low HP. It kind of acts like a crow, for example, having the poison ability. I think Jean's shot basically act like that. The pull, again, the pull being probably the best super in the game, of how unique it is and how strong it is all the time. I think it's really good to have here. And they don't really ever change Jean in terms of nerf and stuff. The Vengeful Spirits being a good option and dealing a bit more HP against other things here. I just think Jean always gonna be pretty meta and just pairs well with pretty much anything as well. Angelo has received loads of nerfs. It's probably been one of the most broken brawlers in the history of Brawl. But, after gaining her hypercharge, she's always been meta before that, but the hypercharge and then the recent tweaks of the hypercharge, where you actually get your hypercharge a lot quicker now, it's going to be very strong in the meta. And again, on brawlers, like on maps like this, where there's loads of lakes, against sharpshooters, for example, even against tanks, you're just able to farm so many supers, and it's just super strong. I think Angelo is going to be one of the best brawlers in the meta for a very long time here, unless they manage to tweak it. But I think it does require a very large amount of skill. Having any long range brawler broken is always dependent on how good the person can aim with it. And I do think Angelo's shots are quite hard to hit compared to other brawlers, because yeah, the shot feels very thin compared to, like, for example, a Brock or a Piper shot. And also the attack is just very weird. It's just very weird to, aim and shoot. Using the super right, using the hypercharge as well correctly. Just many different things where, it just requires loads of different things as well. But yeah, Angelo, still very meta. On the topic of broken brawlers, here is another one. We have Larry. Larry is probably the most broken brawler they have ever released in the history of the game. And, it's received, I think, like 12 nerfs and stuff. And the fact that it's still so strong, it just says a lot. It's a thrower that can deal with assassins and stuff. It's able to heal. It's just so versatile. Again, brawlers that have loads of versatility are always going to be very strong here. The fact you can pick it against, some tank matchups, tanks don't really counter it too well, because you have the super, which is Lori. Lori comes out with a bit of a shotgun type of brawler here. Or we're going to die here, but we're going to be able to heal up. Lori's going to go in, if you got the star power, you absorb damage, it's going to be really strong as well. Or you can go the star power, for example, if you're playing heist or against tanks, where your reload speed increases by 30% if your super is near you. So many different ways you can play Larry here. But again, it's received 12 nerfs, guys, and it's still probably within the top 5 or top 10. It's just ridiculous. This may be a surprising one, but Rico has crept his way up. It got a brand new hypercharge, and the hypercharge is kind of crazy. It's a lot like his modifier. His mutation, not modifier, that was in the Godzilla event here. And Rico, especially on the brand new set of maps, is going to be a very strong option here. And again, the hypercharge is very easy to get. If you're playing against like one good matchup, you'll maybe get 1 or 2 hypercharges. If you play against a crazy matchup, then maybe you get 3 or 4 hypercharges. It's really that simple in terms of it's super easy to get, very strong. It's not too hard to use. There's no skill required in it. It just makes a brawler a lot less skillful, and it's just, again, still very good here. I think counters on Rico though, again, Larry is a good one. Any thrower always very good against Rico here. But the meta being a lot tanky, I think Rico is gonna always be a very strong option. A new brawler rework, and I think this rework has made this brawler completely busted. I think Meg is easily within the top 3 or top 4 in the game here. It's just super strong. Again, a tank meta, but this brawler is just crazy. It has crazy DPS. I think DPS is one of the main things. It having 2 forms, so if you kill the mech, you still have the other form to deal with. And then if you go the star power, where if there's anyone near you, they get exploded. They take about 4,000 damage, which is, again, crazy amount of damage. There we go, we just killed him. That's 3k damage here. And we get killed, but we get in our little mech form. And if you hit a couple shots, which I don't think is very hard to hit, I think this mech form is very underrated in terms of how easy it is to hit shots and keeping people weak. That's like a gene, I guess, in a way, if you're really good at hitting shots. Again, you just get back in your meg, anyone goes near you, you just hit them a few times, you get a little swipe, and just go absolutely crazy. I do think this Meg is going to be receiving a nerf within the very near future. Another brawler who I think is crazy strong right now and crazy underrated is going to be Kit, guys. Kit has always been known as a brawler that you can play with a tank, you know, with some HP and stuff like that. But recently, a lot of pros have been playing at more of an assassin. And as you see right now, we are able to 3-shot Sandy, use our super to finish him off. And they fixed a lot of the glitches. I think one of the main things why Kit is so strong now is they fixed a lot of the interaction glitches. You know, sometimes when a brawler's 1 HP and you jump on him, you can't shoot afterwards. Kind of how the Frank glitch is happening right now. But yeah, in terms of Kit, it can deal with basically any type of brawler here. Not the best jumps to do right now, but yeah, again, it just makes everything a lot easier. And you know, if you're not having a good game, you can just hop on someone's back, heal them up, play as a thrower. It's just very, very different play styles you can play him, and it's basically scenario based, I guess. Against throwers, it's very strong. If you pair it up with a Gene, you can do some Gene tricks with it. I know you guys seen in my rank videos where, you know, Kit jumps on a person and then Gene pulls them. Different type of combos. It's just really good. And again, another brawler which is very, very versatile. Next up is Gail. Gail has received a brand new hypercharge, but I don't even think that hypercharge is the reason why he's so broken. He's definitely the best tank counter in the game. You know, brawlers like Frank and Lily will definitely get hard countered by, for example, a Gail. The stun is now the preferred star power. Normally people just go slow into Gail. Slow is still good in some scenarios, but I do think the stun is really good, and it's really good against Melody as well if you go stun all the time. So I think Gail has been underrated for, you know, quite a long time here. Secretly been good, but with the hypercharge coming in, and I think they buffed super damage or something, or I don't know if it's a glitch. But yeah, the super definitely just does way more damage now and just makes him so strong here. But yeah, let's see if we can try and get a stun off here. Again, main counters is tanks. Even mid-range brawlers it's really good against. And yeah, the super damage is ridiculous. Once you get hypercharge, it's going to be a game over for those teams. It's going to be a very easy brawler to team wipe with. And normally those type of brawlers are always very strong in the meta. Next brawler is going to be Max, who I expected to receive a nerf upon the damage or the hypercharge. I think Max is just extremely in a crazy position with the brand new hypercharge it received. I think like 2 balance changes ago or something, like 2 updates ago. Again, Max's DPS has always been really good. I think they tweaked that a little bit not too long ago. And the hypercharge as well. If you guys don't know the trick with the hypercharge, if you all stack your whole team and you know, they all catch all the power-ups, they will receive a significant speed boost. I think it's about 75%, and you also get like 75% of your supercharge. So, and your hypercharge also gets charged within that. So yeah, a hypercharge being able to do that much is ridiculous here. And let's see if we can get it right now, and then I can show you guys a lot better what I mean here. There we go. Let's just start with the dynamite here. I'm going to be catching both power-ups here, and as you see, I'm super fast. The effect lasts for a very long time here, and you don't get the damage buff forever, but the speed boost still stays for a long time, and it just worn off right there. So yeah, that was a solid like 15 seconds, which is ridiculous. I think if I got the third energy boost, then it just lasts a lot longer. But yeah, Max definitely will be receiving a nerf probably in the next update. A brawler which I think a lot of people have forgotten about is going to be Draco. I feel like with the new reworks of Frank and Lily, people have just been spamming them constantly, and you know, good reason, because they are insanely strong here. But I think people have forgotten about how crazy good Draco is. And yeah, Draco still probably a top 3 brawler in the meta. I think it's super good. You know, you can pair it up with Byron and Kit, and it's still as broken as it used to be. They haven't made much change to it. I think they've made something. I don't know what they've done. I think the gadget absorbs less damage now or something. I can't remember, but yeah, it's still broken, guys. Draco still top 3 in the game. I think you can pair it up with some broken stuff like Byron. Kit is still, you know, Kit and Draco a broken combo. And yeah, it's still very easy to play, and I don't know why people have forgotten about it. Now, I know I said I'm not going to be ranking anything in order, but I think the clear top 2 in this meta, the first one, the second place, is going to be going for Frank, guys. Frank has received some emergency nerfs. Do I think the nerfs did something? I do think the nerfs made some sort of difference, but I still think it's far from enough here. It's definitely going to be receiving further nerfs in the future. It's just ridiculous in terms of how fast you can shoot when you're low HP. It just should not be like this. I think what they're going to do in the future update is just decrease the damage. If they decrease the damage, then I think Frank is completely fine here, but I think it just deals too much damage. If you go power grab as well, you just get a kill, and you look at that. I just dealt 3.7k within a couple hits. It has a hypercharge as well. The hypercharge is really strong well. And yeah, it's just so many things about Frank which need to be changed here. I do like the rework though. The concept's a nice idea, but in terms of, you know, they didn't balance the damage or anything, or like they could have made the health a lot less. Stuff like that they need to change with reworks as well. But yeah, I think Frank's gonna receive another nerf, but feel like he'll still be a very strong option for a long time. Now, the clear number one in the meta, in my opinion, is going to be Lily. I think the gadget is completely broken here. The fact you can go into the Shadow Realm, surprise attack people, deal loads of damage here. Look at that, we're about to get full team wipe like that. Look at that, we just got 5 kills. But the gadget should just stay alive there. But yeah, I think Lily is going to be receiving a big nerf. They only nerfed it in the emergency up balance change by like 100 HP, which I don't know what it does really, but I don't know if it changes some sort of interactions, but it definitely is still broken here. And yeah, the rework, again, is a cool concept. Did I think Lily needed a rework? I don't think it did, so it was a bit surprising rework they did. But overall, again, the Brawlers is too broken here. It just reloads ammo too quickly. You can even play on heist and do base races with it, which should not be the case for, like, you know, an assassin. You know, assassin having a high reload speed is unheard of, and it should not be a thing. But yeah, let's just rain terror and end the game as quick as possible there. But yeah, that's going to be wrapping up the top 20 brawlers you should be picking up for ranked. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.